And hello, and welcome to another episode of the Coolest podcast. We are talking here with different instructors at the Coolest.Marketing platform of advanced marketing courses online in the AI era. And today I'm super pleased to interview Dr. Dar Peleg. Hi.
Hi, thanks
you.
for having me.
Yeah. And we're going to have an amazing talk as we see the industry of marketing changing dramatically. And well, before we begin, maybe Dar, can you present yourself and then we'll dive into the subject.
Sure, thanks again for having me. Up until 2016, I was part of the investigative psychology section in the forensic science of the Israeli police. There we did some practical insights of psychology, like credibility assessment, even polygraph and micro-expressions. We also practiced the cognitive interview, which came instead of hypnosis, and we did profiling, which was going to a crime scene and deciphering the personality of the perpetrator via diagnostic tools of his behavior in the scene, like blood spatter analysis, like the interaction that we could decipher from the victim, and so on and so forth. And we build a psychological profile of the person who allegedly did this crime, and thus helping the forensics teams and investigation to try to minimize the group of potential suspects. After that, I turned to a more academic side. I finished my PH.D. in social psychology, behavioral economics, stuff like that. And I opened my own firm, my own company, which is focused on remote personality analysis. We use the social web, all social open web, open, of course, and public, to analyze the personality of a person, a very deep personality assessment, including conflicts within the personality, including unconscious motives and factors in the personality, to build a personality profile and bring something very practical to the customer in order to not only know the person they are in front of, but also to affect, influence, and maybe to better the interaction they have in the business that they are conducting, if it's HR, if it's management, if it's negotiations, M&As. It's called psychological due diligence. And that's it. That's me now.
Amazing. Okay, so we're going to dive later to the content of your course on Coolest.Marketing, which is about the psychology analysis of the investor and how to prepare to the investment pitch and the dynamic with him and etc. But I find it super interesting what you just said. You can create a psychology report on a person without meeting him. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
And would you say that not meeting him and relying on the footprint, the digital footprint out there, makes it even more precise?
Absolutely. If you look at like traditional tools, which are questionnaires or interviews or maybe references that you call people and ask them about the person, even people that they know, it's all very subjective. And people let's talk about tests and questionnaires. People, they react and respond in a way they think that is the right way to do that, okay? And it's self-report, so it's very, very limited. And when we're talking about interviews or people that know this person, they know them from their side, from their scenery, from their perspective, and it's very, very also limiting. But if you look at the social media of a person, you can meet them up until 20 years before that. And you can see a line of development, a line of achievements, a line of failures, a line of social interactions, not the specific frame that you are trying to analyze this person now for, like, say, a job interview or maybe even marketing for this person. If you look at him at other sceneries, then you get a much more deep and much more objective perspective of his personality.
So, the first objection that comes to mind is, but I'm not who I'm showing off on social media. I'm always smiling. I'm always, on my yacht, enjoying myself.
If you have a yacht, that's nice. Yeah.
Or at least in the picture,
Sure.
in the profile picture. So, two questions. A, would that be, is that a problem, or are you working with that, understanding that if a person presenting himself on social media in a certain way, we understand that that's not him, but it probably says something about him? And two, what is the tools that you're using? Is that like a hunch? Like when I'm looking at a profile picture and I'm like, this is artistic, so it's probably very creative because that's what I think. How do you know what a specific, image or whatever means?
Okay, so a few things. First of all, profiling is educated guesses. It's not mathematics. It's not zeros and ones. But having said that, it is a paradigm. You can use rules in how to do that. When I say educated guesses, I'm talking about a very scientific basis behind me, okay? There's a lot of science, a lot of articles, a lot of papers. Even as we speak today, people are publishing more and more papers about how to profile individuals on the web. And there are even specific papers like how to analyze this personality in Twitter, in LinkedIn. It's different things, okay? It's different platforms, in Facebook, and so on and so forth. And so what we do is multiple comparisons. We compare what a person says here in his post to his picture when he was 18 with his friends doing shots, okay? How his fingernails look like. Does he button all the shirts all the way up or not? And comparing a lot of visual factors with verbal factors, it gives you a very authentic picture of his personality. They say that your personality links. You can maybe sometimes smile in a picture, but if you look at all of your pictures from, let's say, 2007, when you just entered Facebook, then you will see the real personality of a person. So I'm not afraid of people telling me, no, that's not my real self. I use filters, I'm always smiling, but you cannot fake your identity in all the platforms all the time, only sometimes. So having said that, we look at the aggregation of a personality for years and years, and the picture we get, and this is also scientifically based, it's much more authentic than you think. And we choose all the time. You choose a picture of yourself. You choose what to say. And sometimes what you choose is unconscious. And so it's very authentic, even though you can maybe feel that it's not.
All right. So I find it super interesting that you kept on saying that it's scientific, that it's based on...
Yeah.
So what, are there like researches about what a certain picture, a profile picture says, or stuff like that? Is it going that far?
Up until the pixels, it's like where you place your face, how close is it to the camera, what can we see in the background? Is it like animals? Do you even look younger than your real self? Picture analysis with personality correlations is very developed as we speak today.
All right. So I know that you are creating very, very deep profiles for HR and for investors and etc. How deep is that profile can go? Like, would that just tell me, like the big five trades? Is that person happy or a dreamer, stuff like that? Or is it going very, very deep and can tell me how to deal with him, how to create onboarding, stuff like that?
Well, thank you for asking. Of course, it's very deep. If you look at personality, you can. It's like a funnel. When you start at the top, the most shallow, let's say, layer of the personality is the traits. You talked about the big five. There are a lot of models. The big five is one of the most common and used. And so we start at the traits, but we go deeper and deeper into your values, what makes you tick, your motivations. And the deeper we can go into your even identity, your, let's say, personality signature, what you wish to have, what you will to have, what are your emotional needs, and you don't even know them. Okay, we go into your personality conflicts. You wish to be embraced, to get warmth, but you also wish to be very achieving. Okay, and so maybe you throw some elbows to your surroundings, which they are in contradiction. There's a dissonance. We look at all that. We see your narrative, which is the story you tell yourself about how other people look at you, and your need for consistency to fulfill this story up until you die. So it's extremely deep, even deeper than people can imagine. And one of the wonders that we get from a customer is, how could you say such a deep thing without meeting the person? And we also answer, we saw all the text, all the pictures. We met this person for hours and hours. We have a team. We compare every little geographic place that he has been through with his likes. And so the data is vast. And yes, it's first, very deep. And second, as you asked, it's extremely practical, because once you understand the narrative of a person, his personality, his deep personality, his basic needs, you can create a path, a strategic plan on how to impact this person in order for your specific interaction, which is, as you said, can be marketing, it can be HR, it could be risk management, it could be negotiations, how to conduct this interaction to the maximum benefit of both sides, because everybody benefits when you understand the personality of the customer and also of the person that is the object.
All right. So I can definitely see the use of it in human resource, and I can definitely see it in marketing with the audience of the brand. And we see mainly at startups, we see more and more CMOs and marketeers addressing the need for investment. It could be by creating the presentation and maybe presenting it themselves. And I would like to hear a bit about your course that you're creating. Right now it's coming soon, but I urge you to check out on Coolest.com, Coolest.Marketing, if it's already online. Mm-hmm. So what can we expect in a course that prepare us before that meeting with a specific investor, presenting to him a specific presentation from those tools that you presented, and how would that affect on the actual pitch and meeting?
Sure. So what we're going to talk about in this course is, first of all, get some basic tools in how to profile this investor that you're going to meet. There are a lot of firms, VCs out there, as angels, and etc. And you need to know at least their traits, okay? If we talk about the funnel, and how they look at the world and how they look at investments. If you understand that correctly, then, as I said before, you can create a map of a strategic plan, even to the basics of how to present, what big is the deck you need to prepare, how deep should it go? Should it go to the bits and pieces and go to the details, or maybe you should focus on the story and maybe create some excitement in these VCs? We talk about, first of all, how to profile this person, this VC, this angel, and how to understand yourself. Where do you meet him? And then how to create the entire interaction from the basics, which is the deck and the first meeting, and up until, if there is investment, how to create this long-term relationship with this person in order for this interaction to be, as I said before, beneficial to both parties.
Amazing. Because I can say that from my experience working with startups, the dynamic with the investors is so crucial, and sometimes it fall into, hiding certain info and not really working together. And some investors might look too harsh, or so it seems that your content would help me understand how to work with my investor and create very good relationship with him.
Absolutely, because if you understand the person in front of you, if you understand the person that is going to or considering a large investment of financial resources in your company, then you should know how to behave with him. What things to say, what not to say, when to say it, how to say it, where to meet him. Should it be like a restaurant with a lot of people and noise, or should you meet him face to face in a very small office? Okay, that can be the difference between a good start or a bad one. Okay, and you should think about developing this way to the extent of a large strategic way on how to interact with him. Okay, on the long run, what will happen? Not if, but when the crisis will come. Okay, the money is going short. You need another investment. How to behave? How can you deal with his stress? It's crucial points. If you understand his personality, then you'll know how to behave, and all these crises, all these bridges can be crossed in the most beneficial way.
All right. Okay. Looking forward to watch your course and learn more about that. Is there anything you want to finish with, some message to the marketers out there watching us?
Well, yes, I would say that we're looking at a different phase. We're looking at the future is coming towards us, and its pace is just going faster and faster. I think that psychological profiling, if you look at it, it is the missing piece right now, because everybody is analyzing everybody, but with, like, let's say, big data, or maybe their resources are not really focused about the people. They're focused about getting more money, getting more acknowledgement, maybe increasing their community. But you have to understand a person. You have to deeply understand the person. This is why I'm talking about psychological due diligence. All my friends are like CFOs, okay? Most of my friends. And they all do financial due diligence. But what about the psychological due diligence? Thinking that you can do it now remotely, it's a great thing. It's a great tool, and it enables us to go forward from the legacy tools, the more traditional tools of analyzing people, to the future of analyzing people, using AI and stuff like that, in order to, once again, make the interactions much more beneficial, maximize it for both sides.
Super exciting talk. Thank you very much. And we'll probably see you soon at some of the Coolest online workshops, panels, and other content that we are creating. Dar, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Bye-bye.